Succession planning is probably going to be the biggest challenge you face as a family-owned business. You guys have been in touch and have asked, how do we start the conversation around succession planning? So in today's video, I'm going to answer exactly that. My name's Russ Hayworth, I'm a family business advisor, and I work with families just like yours to help you to navigate the complexities and challenges that come from being in business together. So the first step in talking about succession planning is to stop calling it succession planning. Let me explain. Succession planning paints a picture in people's minds of something coming to an end and something else beginning. If you start referring to it as business continuity planning, however, it starts to put the focus on the continuation of the business, which, let's face it, is the ultimate aim of any succession plan. As humans, we're all emotional creatures. We all have hopes, fears, dreams and aspirations. But what we're not particularly good at is talking about those. So my second tip in terms of raising the issue of succession planning or business continuity planning is to be open and honest about the emotional challenges that you will face during that period. So let's look at an example. Now, in my previous video, I introduced you to the three-circle model, and we're going to use that again to highlight the transition that individuals face when it comes to business continuity planning. So let's look at an example here of somebody who is moving from that central segment there into the family element here. So they're giving up ownership and their role within the business as part of business continuity planning. You then have a next generation member who is moving from this segment into this segment because they're taking ownership on and a bit more responsibility in their own role. Each of those transitions will be part of the business continuity plan, and each of those individuals will face huge emotional challenges in order to get through that transition. That is where we introduce you to a new three-circle model. This is my own three-circle model, and it focuses on the experiences that I've had with other family business owners who've sought advice and it's not quite hit the mark. The reason being is the advice that they're getting is generally financial or technical, sometimes both where it overlaps, and it's entirely logical. It's not bad advice, it makes perfect sense, but it doesn't take into account the emotional aspect of these transitions. So it's met with resistance. And that's why a lot of succession planning or business continuity planning can start to fall down, is because there's resistance from people because they're not talking or communicating about the emotional aspect of what they're doing. So my tips in terms of how to talk about succession planning, or as we're going to call it now, continuity planning, is firstly, call it continuity planning. That's the first step in order to get it onto the agenda. Secondly, understand where various different people in your family or your business are going to transition to and from in that three-circle model to understand the emotion that they're going to be facing, and then articulate that. And if you can't do that in the boardroom, find somewhere you can. Find somewhere facilitating those conversations that allow you to express how you're going to be feeling in an open and honest way. That way you can then go and seek the professional advice here that takes into account the emotional aspects that can help smooth those transitions over. I hope you found that useful. Would love to hear from you. Please get in touch via the comments. And until next time, take care.